This is Analytical Chemistry, and I will be solving a problem for Chapter 4 homework. Okay, this is sample A. Okay, this is going to be in homework set 4. Okay, a standard solution of calcium 2+ containing 5 milligrams per liter, that's 5 parts per million, was prepared and used in 3 different analytical techniques. The test was ran 5 times, and the results are presented in the following table. Okay, this is our table here. Okay, we're going to be working exclusively with technique A here with these values here, and these are the values that we're going to be determining: the mean, the median, the spread of range, the standard deviation, the coefficient of variation. Okay. Now for A, we're going to be determining the mean. So we're going for A here. Okay. Now the mean is simply going to be the average of all of these in technique A. So we're going to take all these values. We're going to do 5.87 plus 5.91 plus 5.79 plus 5.83 plus 5.77. Okay? Now we're going to add all these together. Okay, and then we're going to divide all of this by 5 because there's 5 values. Okay, so the final answer is going to be 5.834, and that's going to be our mean, okay, our average. Okay. Now, for the median, okay, for median is simply going to be, we're going to list all of our values in chronological order. We're going to start with our largest value and go down to our lowest value. Okay, so we're going to start with 5.91. We go 5.83. Oh, excuse me. Scratch that. We go 5.91, 5.87, 5.83, and then 5.79, 5.77. Okay, we're going to look at this list, and we're going to find out which one's right in the middle. This is 5.38, and this is going to be our median. Okay, that's our median. Okay. Now, the spread of range. The spread of range is going to be simply taking the largest value and subtracting the lowest value, and that's going to be our spread of range. So what we're going to do is find our largest value, which is 5.91, and we're going to subtract our lowest number, which is 5.77. Okay, and that's going to be simply 0.14. Okay, and that's going to be our answer for the spread of range, C. Okay. For part D, we're going to be solving for the standard deviation, which is probably the more complex of the calculations. It's going to be the most time-consuming. Basically, we're going to set it up like this: S, which is our standard deviation, is equal to the square root of the sum. It's a sum symbol here. Okay, and we're going to have parentheses xi minus x. Okay, and we're going to have that squared, and that's going to be divided by n minus 1. Okay. Now this is our sum symbol here. We're going to have xi, which is simply any one of these values, which is 5.87, whichever one you're going to use. We're going to use all of them eventually, and that's going to be subtracted by our mean, which is x here. Our mean is x. Okay, and that's going to be squared. N is the number of values that we have, which is 5, so it's going to be 5 minus 1. Okay, so we're going to set this up again. Let me just cover this up a little bit. Let's see. S. Okay, we're going to have 5.87 minus our mean, which is 5.834, yeah, squared, plus 5.91 minus our mean again, which is 5.834, that's squared. Okay, it's going to be plus 5.79 minus our mean, which is 5.834 squared, plus 5.83 minus our mean, which is 5.834 squared, and finally plus our last value, which is 5.77 minus our mean again, 5.834 squared, and this is, like I said, all divided by n, which is 5 minus 1. Okay, and after we've done these calculations, finally our standard deviation is going to be equal to 0.057 0.05727. Okay? So that's 0.05727. Okay? And that's our standard deviation. Okay? Now, for the last value, for E, we're going to find the coefficient of variation. Okay? Now, the coefficient of variation is simply CV, which is our coefficient of variation, is equal to our standard deviation, which is S, which we just found, divided by our mean, which is mean. Okay? Our average, basically. So we're going to take our standard deviation, which is 0.05727, and divide that by our mean, which was 5.834, and that's going to finally equal 0.0098. Okay, and those are our 5 values that we're going to be solving for there. Okay. Now, for making just a table, these are our values that we determined so far. Our mean, which was 5.834, our median, 5.83, our spread of range was 0.14, and our standard deviation was 0.05727, and finally our coefficient of variation was 0.0098.